The custom-built step stool clicked into place with mechanical precision as Michael Thompson positioned himself at Station 5, and as he adjusted the height of his specially modified workspace, something remarkable became immediately apparent. This wasn't about accommodation or making do with limitations. This was about a 25-year-old chef with dwarfism who had spent 7 years developing cooking innovations so ingenious and effective that they had revolutionized not just his own approach to professional cooking, but the techniques of every chef who worked alongside him. When he looked up at Gordon Ramsay with eyes that sparkled with pure determination and said, "My height is short, chef, but my dreams are giant-sized," the entire MasterChef kitchen fell silent with the kind of awe that transcended competition. And in that moment, 20 cameras captured something that would redefine not just a cooking show, but everyone's understanding of what innovation, adaptation, and unshakable determination could achieve in professional kitchens. The cameras kept rolling, but this was no longer about culinary competition. This was about a young man who had transformed what others might see as limitations into advantages so profound that he had become a better, more innovative chef, not in spite of his dwarfism, but because of the creative solutions it had inspired him to develop, and what happened when that excellence left a legendary chef speechless with admiration. It started as the most physically demanding elimination challenge of the season. 9 contestants remained after weeks of grueling tests, each one representing the highest level of home cooking talent. The MasterChef kitchen gleamed under studio lights, every surface polished to television perfection. Gordon Ramsay commanded the space with his signature intensity, his white chef's coat pristine, his energy focused on identifying the most innovative and adaptable remaining cooks. "Today's elimination challenge," Gordon announced, his voice carrying across the kitchen, "will test your ability to work efficiently across multiple cooking levels. You'll need to work low, work high, and coordinate complex preparations that require precise timing and spatial awareness. This is about adapting your technique to work in any kitchen environment." 9 contestants stood behind their stations, each mentally preparing for whatever physical and technical challenges awaited. Among them was Michael Thompson, 25 years old, standing at 4'2" tall, wearing chef's whites that had been perfectly tailored to his proportions, his presence commanding the same professional respect as any other contestant in the kitchen. Michael had dwarfism, but what struck everyone who met him wasn't his height. It was the extraordinary innovation he'd brought to every aspect of cooking. He'd spent 7 years developing techniques, modifying equipment, and creating approaches to kitchen work that were so efficient and creative that many average height chefs had adopted his methods simply because they were superior to traditional approaches. The show's production team had worked with Michael to ensure the station could accommodate his modifications, but Michael had insisted that the cooking challenges remain exactly the same for everyone. He wasn't looking for easier tasks. He was looking for the chance to show what excellence looked like when approached from a completely different perspective. "You have 90 minutes," Gordon continued, "to create a dish that showcases your ability to work efficiently at multiple levels while demonstrating restaurant-quality technique. Your time starts now." 8 contestants immediately dove into their pantry selections, grabbing ingredients with obvious strategies in mind. Michael approached the pantry with methodical precision, using a lightweight, portable step system that allowed him to access higher shelves while maintaining perfect mobility and efficiency. His pantry strategy was remarkable to watch. While other contestants grabbed items somewhat haphazardly, Michael's selections followed a clear system that maximized efficiency and minimized unnecessary movement. He developed organizational principles that optimized workflow regardless of the kitchen configuration. "Interesting approach at Station 5, Gordon murmured to Aaron as they watched Michael work. There was genuine professional curiosity in his voice, not about Michael's height, but about the innovative methods he was demonstrating. Michael's initial workspace setup was like watching a master class in kitchen efficiency. He adjusted countertop heights using his modular system, positioned specialized tools that extended his reach while maintaining precision, and organized his mise en place in geometric patterns that created optimal workflow within his spatial parameters. But what really caught Gordon's attention was that Michael's innovations weren't just accommodations, they were improvements. His organizational systems, his tool modifications, his workflow patterns were so efficient that they were actually superior to traditional methods. "Behind you, Sharp," called Jennifer as she moved past with a knife. Michael's spatial awareness was extraordinary. He tracked the movement of other contestants through sound and peripheral vision, maintaining perfect safety protocols while never interrupting his own workflow. His awareness of kitchen traffic patterns was actually superior to most of his taller competitors. 20 minutes into the challenge, Michael was executing knife work that was absolutely flawless. His cutting technique showcased adaptations that had become advantages: specialized cutting boards with elevation systems, knife grips that maximized leverage and control, and cutting angles that produced results superior to traditional methods. "Michael," Gordon said, approaching Station 5 with genuine professional interest, "your knife work is exceptional. Tell me about your technique." Michael looked up from his perfectly brunoise vegetables, his expression focused but enthusiastic. "When you can't rely on traditional positioning and leverage, you have to understand the physics of cutting differently, Chef," he explained, his voice carrying the slight Boston accent of his childhood. "Every angle has to be optimized. Every movement has to be purposeful." Michael gestured toward his setup. "I've learned that efficiency isn't about conforming to standard methods. It's about developing systems that maximize precision and minimize wasted motion." Gordon watched as Michael continued his preparation, and he began to understand that he was witnessing something unprecedented. This wasn't adapted cooking. This was evolved cooking. 30 minutes into the challenge, Michael was working simultaneously at multiple levels with coordination that impressed everyone watching. He had preparations going in low ovens at counter level and was using elevated systems for stovetop work. His timing and coordination were flawless. "How do you manage timing across so many different levels?" Gordon asked, watching Michael orchestrate multiple cooking processes with remarkable precision. "Systematic thinking, Chef," Michael replied, checking on his lower-level preparations while maintaining perfect control of his stovetop work. "When you approach cooking three-dimensionally instead of just thinking about traditional counter height, you can actually coordinate more processes more efficiently." Michael's technique was genuinely revolutionary. He developed systems for using vertical kitchen space that most cooks ignored, timing methods that optimized multiple cooking processes simultaneously, and organizational approaches that eliminated inefficiencies that came from traditional height assumptions. "This is incredible," whispered Marcus to another contestant. "He's not just cooking differently, he's cooking better than most of us." Indeed, Michael's approach was producing results that seemed to surpass traditional methods. His proteins were cooking more evenly because his monitoring systems allowed for more consistent attention. His vegetables showed perfect texture because his timing coordination was more precise. His sauces demonstrated better development because his multitasking efficiency allowed for more careful temperature management. 45 minutes remaining," Gordon announced. Michael was creating his sauce now, and his approach showcased the kind of innovation that challenged fundamental assumptions about kitchen work. He was using specialized stirring techniques, elevation systems that provided optimal angles for whisking, and tasting methods that demonstrated how adaptation had led to superior results. His sauce showed perfect consistency and flavor development, results that spoke to understanding cooking at a deeper level than traditional methods typically achieved. 30 minutes remaining. Michael began his final preparation phase, and this was where his unique approach truly shone. While other contestants were struggling with coordination between different workspace levels, Michael was executing complex techniques from his optimized setup with remarkable ease. His plating preparation was extraordinary. He'd arranged his components and tools in systems that created perfect workflow efficiency. Every sauce, every garnish, every element was positioned to allow for seamless final assembly from his adapted but optimized workspace. 15 minutes remaining. Michael began plating his dish, and what Gordon witnessed challenged every assumption about kitchen efficiency and presentation. His movements were graceful and precise, economical, purposeful, and resulting in plating that looked like fine art. He was creating height and dimension on his plates using techniques that showcased understanding of visual composition that went beyond traditional approaches. His garnishing showed precision that spoke to years of developing fine motor control to extraordinary levels. 5 minutes, start thinking about final touches. Michael made his final adjustments with the same systematic precision he'd shown throughout the challenge. Every element was positioned with geometric accuracy. Every sauce was applied with artistic intent. Every garnish was placed with purpose that created visual harmony. Time, hands up, step back. Michael stepped back. Quite literally, his portable step system allowed him to step down from his elevated workspace to reveal a dish that looked like it belonged in the finest restaurants in the world. Perfectly cooked proteins with complex accompaniments, vegetables that showed ideal texture and seasoning, and sauces that demonstrated sophisticated technique and flavor development. The judging began, and Gordon approached Michael's station with the other judges. Even before tasting, it was clear that something exceptional had been created through methods that defied conventional kitchen wisdom. Gordon cut into Michael's protein, perfectly cooked throughout, with ideal color and texture. The vegetables maintained their individual characters while contributing to a harmonious whole. The sauces showed balance and complexity that spoke to deep understanding of flavor development. Gordon took his first bite, and his expression changed immediately. The flavors were extraordinary, but there was something else, a completeness, a precision that spoke to cooking that had been executed with almost scientific accuracy. Every element contributed to a whole that was greater than the sum of its parts. "Michael," Gordon said, his voice softer than usual, "this is exceptional work. The technique is flawless, the flavors are beautifully balanced, and the execution shows a level of precision and innovation that I rarely see from any cook." Michael waited attentively, his expression showing quiet confidence mixed with genuine humility. "But beyond the technical excellence," Gordon continued, "I want to understand something. You just coordinated multiple cooking processes across different levels, executed complex knife work, and plated a restaurant-quality dish using techniques I've never seen before." Gordon looked directly at Michael. "Your innovations seem to have created advantages that go beyond traditional cooking methods. How did you develop this approach?" Michael's response would resonate in that kitchen long after the cameras stopped rolling. "Chef, when I decided I wanted to be a professional cook, I realized I had two choices," Michael said, his voice steady and thoughtful. "I could spend my energy wishing I was taller, or I could spend it becoming the best cook possible given who I am." The kitchen was completely silent now, every person focused on Michael's words. What I discovered was that being forced to rethink everything from the ground up actually made me a more innovative cook, Michael continued. "When you can't rely on traditional methods, you have to understand cooking at a deeper level." Michael's expression grew more passionate as he continued. "I had to study physics, ergonomics, efficiency systems, things that most cooks never think about because they don't have to. But that deeper understanding led to innovations that actually work better than traditional methods." That's when Michael said the words that would stop the competition and change everything. "My height is short, chef, but my dreams are giant-sized. And I've learned that when you combine big dreams with innovative thinking, you can create solutions that nobody else would ever imagine." The silence that followed was profound. Several contestants were openly crying, moved by Michael's eloquent wisdom and unshakable determination. Camera operators seemed affected by the raw inspiration of his perspective. Gordon stared at Michael for a long moment, processing not just what he'd heard, but what it meant about innovation, determination, and the nature of excellence itself. Behind the scenes, Gordon made a decision that was unprecedented in MasterChef history. "Michael," Gordon said, his voice thick with emotion, "in 30 years of professional cooking, I have never encountered someone who has elevated kitchen innovation to the level you've achieved." Gordon stepped away from the judges' table and approached Michael's station directly. "What you've shown us today isn't just excellent cooking," Gordon continued. "You've revolutionized approaches to kitchen efficiency, spatial coordination, and technical innovation that could change how we think about professional food preparation." Gordon knelt down to be at Michael's eye level, not out of pity, but out of respect for what he recognized as a peer conversation between professionals. "Michael, you're not just safe from elimination," Gordon announced. "You've earned something that I've never offered before, a guaranteed place in the finale, because you've shown us what cooking looks like when innovation meets unshakable determination." The kitchen erupted in applause, but Gordon wasn't finished. "More than that," Gordon continued, "Michael, I want to offer you something. I want you to consult with our restaurant design team about incorporating your innovation concepts into our kitchen layouts. Your techniques could revolutionize how we think about efficiency in professional kitchens." Michael's composed expression finally showed deep emotion. Tears began sliding down his cheeks as he processed what Gordon had just offered. "Thank you, Chef," Michael managed to say. "That means more than winning any competition could ever mean." What happened next was unlike anything in MasterChef history. The other contestants abandoned their own concerns about advancement and surrounded Michael, not with pity or condescension, but with genuine respect and admiration for someone who had just expanded their understanding of what innovation and excellence looked like. "Michael, watching you work today completely changed how I think about kitchen efficiency," said Jennifer, her voice filled with genuine admiration. "Your systems, your innovations, they're not accommodations, they're improvements. You've made me realize how much traditional cooking methods are actually inefficient," added Marcus. "Your approach is just better." Gordon watched the group surrounding Michael and realized something profound about the nature of innovation and human potential. "What we've learned today," Gordon announced to the entire kitchen, "is that the greatest advances in cooking often come from those who are forced to approach familiar challenges in completely unfamiliar ways." Gordon approached Michael one more time. "Michael, I want to ask you something," Gordon said. "What would you say to other people who might think that physical differences prevent them from pursuing their culinary dreams?" Michael considered the question seriously, his face showing the thoughtful expression of someone who understood the weight of his platform. "I'd tell them that limitations are often just invitations to innovate," Michael said. "When you can't do something the traditional way, you have to find better ways, and sometimes those better ways are actually superior to what everyone else is doing." Michael's expression grew more passionate as he continued, "Don't focus on what you can't do the way other people do it. Focus on what you can do better than anyone else because you approach it differently. The best solutions often come from the most unexpected perspectives." The kitchen was completely silent as everyone processed these words. "But most importantly," Michael concluded, "I'd tell them that dreams don't have height requirements. Excellence isn't measured in inches. It's measured in innovation, determination, and the courage to create your own path to success." Gordon stood quietly for a long moment, and when he finally spoke, his voice carried a weight that surprised everyone. "Michael," Gordon said, "you've just taught all of us something profound about what it means to be truly innovative and determined." The episode, when it aired, became more than television. Culinary schools began incorporating Michael's spatial cooking concepts into their curricula. Restaurant designers started consulting with accessibility advocates to create more innovative kitchen layouts. The James Beard Foundation created a new scholarship category recognizing innovation in adaptive cooking techniques. But perhaps most importantly, the episode changed how people thought about physical differences, innovation, and the difference between accommodation and evolution. Michael went on to win the entire MasterChef competition, but by then the victory was almost secondary. He'd already proven something more valuable than winning a cooking show. He'd proven that the greatest innovations often come from those who refuse to accept that the way things have always been done is the best way to do them. Today, Michael runs a culinary consulting business that helps restaurants optimize their kitchen efficiency while also developing innovative cooking techniques. His cookbook, Innovative Cooking: Revolutionary Techniques for Maximum Efficiency, became a bestseller and is now used in culinary schools worldwide. Above his kitchen hangs a photo from that MasterChef episode, Michael with his extraordinary dish, Gordon kneeling beside him in respect, and the other contestants surrounding them both with genuine admiration. Below the photo, a simple plaque with the words that defined his philosophy: dreams don't have size requirements. Innovation has no height limits. Because that's what Michael Thompson taught everyone that day, that the most revolutionary advances come not from conforming to traditional methods, but from having the courage to innovate when traditional methods don't fit, and that sometimes the biggest dreams come in the most unexpected packages.